Clara the cow stood at the edge of the valley, gazing longingly at the grand school up on the hill. The laughter of the other cows echoed in the air as they trotted in their pristine collars, their hooves gleaming in the sunlight. Clara's heart ached. She wanted so badly to join them, but she didn't belong. Her family was poor, nothing like the rich cows who lived in the big barns up the hill. Clara's barn was small, and while the other cows dined on rich alfalfa and sweet hay, Clara's meals were simpler. Her coat was rough, and she didn't have the shiny collars the other cows wore. But Clara was determined. She had dreams, big dreams. She wanted to learn, to be something more than just a poor cow in a small valley. One morning, after gathering her courage, Clara decided to try. She walked up the hill, her hooves tapping nervously on the rocky path. The other cows were already in the schoolyard, chatting and laughing. As she approached, she could feel their eyes on her, the whispers starting. "Look who it is," Bella, the sleek and shiny cow with the golden collar, sneered. "Clara, the poor cow. What are you doing here? You don't even have a fancy collar like the rest of us." The other cows giggled. Clara's cheeks turned pink. She lowered her head, trying to ignore their taunts. But their words stung. They didn't understand her. They didn't know how much she wanted to be like them, to fit in. She tried her best to focus on the lessons, but it wasn't easy. While the other cows had everything they needed, Clara had to make do with whatever she could find. Her classmates laughed when she couldn't answer a question as quickly as they could, or when her clothes weren't as fancy. They'd whisper behind her back, and sometimes right in front of her, mocking her for her lack of money. "Why bother, Clara?" one of the cows would say. "You'll never be like us. You don't have the same life. Just go back to your little barn and leave the learning to the real cows." Each day, Clara would go home feeling worse, but she refused to give up. She knew deep down that she had the potential to be more. She just needed to figure out how to turn things around. Then, one day, while walking home from school, Clara noticed something in the marketplace. A cow was selling hand-woven baskets, each one more beautiful than the last. Clara had always been good with her hooves. She could weave simple baskets from reeds by the river, but these were something else entirely. The colors were vibrant, the designs intricate. Clara's heart raced. She could do this. That night, Clara got to work. She spent hours weaving, carefully crafting baskets, and using stones she found along the river to create jewelry. She wasn't sure if anyone would want to buy her creations, but she worked with determination, day after day, never letting her lack of experience or money stop her. Weeks went by, and Clara's hard work began to pay off. She set up a little stall at the bazaar, her handmade baskets and jewelry glistening under the sunlight. At first, no one paid much attention, but slowly, more and more cows started to stop by. "These are beautiful," one cow said, admiring a basket. Another cow picked up a necklace, turning it in the sunlight. "This is so unique. How much for this one?" Clara beamed with pride as her first sale was made, and then another, and another. Soon, Clara's stall was the most popular one at the market. Her creations were in high demand, and Clara found herself able to buy better materials, a new collar, and even some sweet hay for herself. She worked harder than ever, selling her goods at the bazaar and to anyone who would listen. As months passed, Clara's hard work began to show. She was no longer the poor, awkward cow from the small barn. She was Clara, the successful entrepreneur, known all over the valley for her beautiful creations. She even built herself a new barn, a large, comfortable home where she could rest after her long days at the market. Then, one day, Clara received an invitation. It was for the annual Valley Cow School Gala. The gala was an event where all the cows from the school gathered to celebrate the year's achievements. Clara hesitated for a moment. She hadn't been to the school in months, and the thought of facing her old classmates, the ones who used to mock her, made her nervous. But she knew she had come a long way. With her heart pounding, Clara arrived at the gala, and the moment she stepped inside, every cow turned to look at her. Bella and the others stood there, their mouths agape. Clara stood tall, her golden collar gleaming in the light, her hooves polished to a shine. She was dressed in a beautifully woven shawl, adorned with jewels she had crafted herself. She had never felt more confident. Bella, the cow who had once mocked her the most, was the first to speak. "Clara, is that really you?" she asked, her voice filled with awe. Clara smiled. "Yes, it's me. I've worked hard, and now am proud of who I've become." The other cows stood in silence, their eyes wide with admiration. Clara had transformed into someone they never expected, someone they could no longer look down on. Bella stepped forward, lowering her head in respect. "We were wrong to mock you, Clara," she said. "You've shown us what real hard work looks like. You've inspired us." The other cows nodded in agreement, some even stepping forward to offer Clara a polite nod or a respectful bow. Clara felt a warmth in her chest. The teasing had been painful, but she had used it as fuel to prove that she was more than they had thought. "I didn't do it for you," Clara said with a quiet smile. "I did it for myself, to show that anyone, no matter where they come from, can make a difference if they believe in their dreams and work for them." And from that day forward, Clara the cow became a legend in the valley. Not because of the money she had earned or the luxurious life she had built, but because she had shown the other cows that no matter where you start, you have the power to rise. Would you not like to subscribe to this for the hardworking cow, Clara?